Welcome to Wine Time Mysteries, where we talk about true crime, the paranormal, mysteries, and cryptozoology with a dash of comedy. This podcast contains adult themes and is intended for mature audiences only. Don't forget to click follow and tickle that little notification bell. Now, find a comfy spot. We're about to start today's episode.
Can you not look at me with
my eyes?
He gives me this disappointing look where you just see a bit of the light leave his eyes. Jodi and Arias. Arias? Is that how you say her last name? That's how I'm going to say it. Oh, touching things. Don't mind me. Yeah, I'm sorry, but she has a face that just irritates me. I wonder if anyone else thinks the same, or if I'm just a see you next Tuesday kind of gal. You know?
Volcano Los Dos.
Yeah, why not? She was considered kind of the girl next door. But, like, you look at her and when you mung bean see the photo, no, she looks crazy. So Jodi was born July 9th, 1980, making her a Cancer.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've put that in there, so I'm just going to put that in there.
Jamie's a Cancer.
Oh, is she?
Cancers are, Jamie, forgive me, sensitive people. Emotionally very sensitive people.
Oh, interesting for this one.
Well, it's also a water sign too, see? So.
She grew up in Salinas, California, which is kind of in between San Francisco and LA. And of course, it's in the US of A. Her father's name was William and mother was Sandy, and Jodi was one of 4 kids. According to Jodi, she was abused as a child, and I say according to her because we'll soon find out. She may not always tell the truth. I found stories where Arias claimed that her parents hit her with belts and spoons, and then I was like, wasn't that just growing up in the 80s or 90s?
Yeah, hello.
Like, oh, I got abused. Like, mine was the back end of a fly swatter, like the handle. And it wasn't like, you wouldn't get beaten, but like you'd get a
whack on the
you'd get a whack
or the leg,
and you wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
Yes, you'd get an object, but
Same. I've had the belt before.
yeah.
I've been belted. It did not hurt. That doesn't mean try harder, it just didn't hurt. I've had the wooden spoon.
Oh yeah, the wooden spoon.
I've had a computer.
Those were chunky back then too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Like, you never got beaten to a pulp. Like, obviously there's a fine line, and now we look back and we're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done
abuse.
that. Yeah, like, I don't smack my kids, but it worked. Back then, we didn't do it again, and if you did, you're fucking dumb. I was fucking dumb. I did a few things that I shouldn't have done. I found reports that her mother had said she was like just trying to make up a lie to say, oh, I had a terrible childhood, so like woe is me. I don't know whether it was just trying to...
Do you think it was to excuse what she did?
Yeah, I was like, exactly what I was going to say, thank you. She dropped out of high school in year 11 and she would later complete her GED, and I wrote down, cool, I'm happy for you. I told you when I wrote down like my little thoughts, I was really coming for me. Throughout her childhood, she would take photos and end up getting into photography, and even had a couple of part-time gigs here and there. Anyone in the art industry knows that as an artist, you kind of need another job until you can start receiving an income from said art. So she would end up become a server, but over here it's a waitress, right? Like, is it different to a server to a waitress? I don't know. Who cares, Ashley? Anyway, at one of her jobs, she would meet future boyfriend Daryl Brewer. I just like to say it like that. Who was the beverage manager. Like, I'm sorry, what do you need a beverage manager for?
He manages the
But like, why is that? Aren't you just a manager? I'm the beverage manager. No offense if you're a beverage manager out there. I've just never heard of a...
Could it be someone who manages the bar?
Yeah, maybe a bar manager.
And there's like a floor manager or whatever that manages the floor.
Whereas I'm like, what the fuck is a beverage manager?
A bed fridge.
Bed. I said bed ridge. But I'm not making it better for myself, okay? Just shush. So yes, beverage manager. And he was also a single dad, which kind of made me scared that there was a child around this thing that we're going to later find out about. So not sure on the arrangement, like as if He had the kid full time, didn't really want to look into it. Yes, I'm talking about it now, but meh, meh, meh. They started dating in 2003, making her 23 at the time. Daryl would later quote the relationship she had with his son was as if she was an auntie. So I'm like, that's better, I guess. But still, this is your aunt. Okay, poor child. They purchased a house together and lived happily ever... No, that's not where this horrific story ends. Now, around this time, there was a bit of a housing market thing that had happened. Like, it just imploded around this time. So, unfortunately, their house became worthless for what they had actually paid for it. Payments jumped up, and it was stated that the couple hadn't read the fine print before signing, apparently. Like, why would you? Why not? It's just a house. So Jodi got to the point where she would end up making repayments on her credit cards, which is never a good thing to do. So you would think this would start to, I don't know, like add pressure to the relationship. The payments would eventually start to become too hard to pay. So 2006, digressing, she was still doing some waitressing gigs, but also started working for a company called Prepaid Legal Services, but now they're known as Legal Shield. So this company is a little thing called multi-level marketing, or the old pyramid scheme. She found this company through one of her co-workers at the time who had brought it up in a conversation about retirement and how he planned to retire in 5 years, made possible with this great new thing he's doing. Which is actually funny because by the time she signed up, she reached out to him. This is a little fun fact. And he's like, oh no, I'm no longer doing it anymore. But I'll put you on to someone else, like the person I signed up with. They were no longer doing it anymore. So like, wouldn't that click in your brain to be like, if the person that showed me this said he's going to retire, he's not doing it. The person that signed him up is no longer doing it.
It is Jodi, though.
Can't argue with stupid or crazy. Whatever. So like I said before, she would eventually sign up to the company.
Yeah.
And it would be September that year that she'd go on a conference.
A conference?
A conference. Circumference.
She won the circumference. So.
Yeah. But it was also like a team retreat, whatever, in Vegas. It was at this event that she would meet motivational speaker Travis Victor Alexander. Now, just wanted to mention, by this time, she was still living with Daryl and involved in his son's life. Just adding that little fact in. So she met Travis outside of the cafe in the hotel, you know, all just hanging around the event. They all started talking, sharing interests, just getting to know one another, and realising they had a bit in common, such as travelling, journaling, and liking the same football team. Gross. They just hit it off. The next day, he would invite her to some executive director banquet, some fancy schmancy thing. She claimed she denied going at first as she didn't have an appropriate outfit. So Jodi's friends were all like, you can't give this opportunity up. You must go to the fancy ball.
All right, Cinderella.
Yeah, pretty much, right? She looked everywhere for a dress, but it would be Travis's friend Sky that had a spare dress that she could borrow. Like, is that cute? I don't know. I'd be like, you want me to wear some random dress for the night? I don't know. I find that weird.
Yeah.
Even during the court hearing, they were like, huh? Like, lawyers are like, what? You did what? So they knew your size? Okay. They had a lovely night, and she would eventually return to her hotel and continue to exchange text messages with Travis. A few days later, they'd be having a private conversation in the middle of all the shit going on as Jodi got the feeling he liked her and she now wanted to tell him that she had a boyfriend. Like, after you've gone to a ball with this other guy, you're messaging him non-stop. Now you want to tell him you've got a boyfriend. Okay. But he already knew this, however, as obviously he'd sussed her out. Like, the people she was hanging out with, he already knew, so he probably already, I don't know, network marketing, whatever. During this conversation, Travis would let Jodi know that he was a Mormon. I'm popping that in here now because it would eventually come back into the story. They went in the lift together, and I just had to quote this from the court transcript because she loved to talk about all the intimate details, like the psychotic, narcissistic bitch that she is. He apparently licked his lips and said, "I wish you didn't have a boyfriend."
I don't think he did.
Yeah, I know. I think she's just full of shit. Like, oh, girl, you're that tasty. I want you now.
But it's also, I hate that kind of shit because I hate it because the person's not there to be able to say, well, I didn't actually do that, you dirty bush pig.
Like, you literally are going off her recount.
One person's testimony.
Yeah, I know. So the convention finished up and she headed home to her boyfriend. Apparently at this time the relationship was okay, but Jodi stated it was going nowhere because she wanted to get married and have kids and he didn't want to. Maybe he knew she was crazy, maybe she wasn't full crazy by then, who knows. By December 2006, after nearly 4 years together, they parted ways. Jodi made a point in her testimony to say that she broke up with him as she doesn't cheat on her boyfriends. And she was going to a party with Travis soon. Like, are you premeditating that jerk?
I think she's premeditating the jerk.
I think she wants the jerk.
I think she craves the jerk.
I don't cheat on my boyfriends, but I've met this amazing guy and we've organised to go to a party, so I better break up with my boyfriend.
Plus, I mean, okay, listen, I think it depends on, as a couple, you set these boundaries and these guidelines, right? And some people are like, oh no, the worst thing is physical cheating. I think emotional cheating is just as bad, if not worse, than like the physical diddling.
Because I bet she ain't talking to her boyfriend the way she's talking to this new guy. Because it's, oh my God, it's magical. He's just come out of nowhere. So the party was at Travis's friend's house, Sky, the one who lent her a dress earlier. Jodi was going to stay the night as she was going to church with them all.
Okay.
Like, he had asked her to church. What an amazing date. Let's party and then go to church. But also, if you want to do that, that's totally up to you.
Whatever. Let's go party with Jesus.
The night of the party would be her first hookup, right before churchy church too. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know how they kick it at the Mormon church, but
I don't know how your Mormons are kicking it over there.
at a normal church, we didn't do that.
Yeah. And I literally wrote this down. I don't know a lot of the Mormon faith, to be honest. Like, I did know a few people here and there.
Do you know what I heard? I heard that there's a special pair of underwear that at least men have to wear and they can't take them off.
No.
That's what I heard. And they have to wash them in like the shower and shit. Whether it's the truth or not, I don't know, but that's what someone told me.
We gotta check this shit now.
Hold on.
Hold a minute.
Sorry, I'm diversifying everywhere.
No, I'm like, is this actually a thing? That's just...
Mormon underwear.
Oh. So it's literally
It's
like
called a
undergarments.
temple garment, also referred to as garments. The garment of the holy priesthood, or Mormon underwear, is a type of underwear worn by adherents of the Latter-day Saint movement.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Is that common now, or was that a thing back in the day, or...?
Well, they still wear them.
Huh.
Can a Mormon take off their underwear?
I don't know what you're going to get typing that into Google.
No porn, thank you. Mormon porn, yum.
Yummy.
Sarcasm. Members are told that they should not partially or completely remove any portion of the garment to participate in activities that can reasonably be done with the garment worn properly beneath the clothing.
So maybe it's more of a reminder of, like, if you go to do the nasty, not to do the nasty. But yeah, I knew a couple of people, like, throughout my life that were Mormon, but I never really asked a lot about it. I just never looked into it because I'm like, I don't want to seem like I'm coming across.
My thing is just religion. Okay, for what it is, I'm sure, you know, it's a beautiful thing and it's nice to have a belief system and to believe in certain things, have faith. I think that's great. I personally don't believe in organized religion and I do not believe in God. That's my view. You have your view, I have mine.
And we both grew up around...
religion.
Yeah, religion. Yeah. I'm just a you do you, I do me. Don't try and force your shit down my throat.
Yeah, don't tell me how to live my life.
Yeah, I remember actually being out in the city once in my emo days and we weren't even out clubbing and I was dressed nicely and some guy's just like, why do you love Satan? I was like, excuse me? And he's like, because you're dressed in all black and you have piercings, so you love Satan. I was like, oh, didn't know I did, but thank you.
Thank you very much. When I joined the Potter's House Church, I only had black clothing, but I wasn't in any way gothic or emo. It was just my nice clothing. It was a black shirt and a black pair of pants. But I remember two people coming up to me and asked me why I just wear black. I'm like, I
clothing.
look good in it, and black is
slimming. Yeah. It's like, hello.
Yeah.
I did want to mention as well, this bitch Jodie was asked in court if she knew about the Mormon religion, and I quote, "I knew that South Park made fun of them a lot. Other than that, I felt they were just another Christian denomination." I just found it funny that she quoted like South Park during a murder trial.
At a trial, yeah.
Fuck off. Their sex life came up a fair bit due to the religion, because I assume like we said before, I assume it's a no-no for sex before marriage. I mean, you do you, but I'd rather have a look and a trial run before marriage. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to go in blind.
Try the milk before you buy the cow.
Right? You don't know if she's all there, down there, either. Like, try before you buy.
What do you mean she's not up there, down there?
Oh, well, you don't fucking know what she's been up
Bits
to.
are missing? I don't think it's an issue of bits are missing. It's a problem when they have too much going on down there.
Well, that's what I mean. You don't know.
Like old Flapperella.
Yeah. Like, you're connecting with someone and then, like, it just, you don't know.
Could you imagine anything worse? It's like you connect with someone, like, emotionally and on so many levels, but in the bedroom.
Yeah. Like, that's what makes a relationship, right? Well, that's how I see it, because you can be friends with anyone. So by this time, Travis was living in Mesa, Arizona, which was roughly an hour drive away from Jodie. And Jodie was still living with her now ex-boyfriend in separate rooms, as apparently they were still friends at this time.
I don't get that.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if he knew she had already moved on, or, like, well, she'd pretty much moved on before they even broke up. Who knows? Drama. So after church, they were texting every day, would meet up again so he could give her the Book of Mormon. Cute date. It's not just the Book of Mormon. It's after he gave her the book, apparently he decided to give her some jack. Now, I say apparently because we can only really go off her testimony. Always more to the story. So she gave him a BJ in the car. Like you gave, yeah. This is why I'm like, it's not just about the Book of Mormon.
How does the Book of Mormon equal blowjob?
I don't know.
Here's a Bible. Thank you. Can I suck your dick?
Yeah, but she made it sound like he was like, let's go somewhere. Like, I want you to give me a blowjob. And I was like,
Maybe he was just so awkward about it and she just undid his pants and did the thing.
Maybe. She looks a bit, not slutty, but she
looks like a slut.
Yeah, it's fine. I just want to say, if you've watched any of the tragic court hearings on her, you will see that Jodie, as I said before, loved to share all the intimate details and does not leave anything out. She seems very proud to make it well known, like the things they got up to. It was noted that he didn't kiss her after the blowjob as well. He acted grossed out and then just left. The old pump and run, literally. She did receive an email from him that night saying he was disappointed in himself and felt bad about his behaviours. I just mention all of this because I'm like, is it a bit of a motive? Like, who knows? I know she's crazy. It doesn't mean murder, but yeah. We'll get into that. She decided to join the church and was formally baptized on November 26, 2006 by Travis himself, and learned then that premarital sex was a no-no, but a bit of a grey area around the orals of the sex and the old grinding with your clothes on. Like, I'm sorry, but you joining a religion not even a few weeks after meeting someone that you ain't even dating, can you say crazy? Crazy. There was a lot of nudes sent back and forth between them as well. Also, can I just remind people that if you send nudes to someone and then there's a murder involved or just any kind of court proceeding, those nudes are in the court hearing and all over the internets.
Yep.
So be careful with your nudes.
When it's on the cloud, kids, it's on the cloud.
Come up. Like, I feel so sorry for his family because they're going through a court case and like all these photos are coming out, all this details. Like, that's just fucked. No, thank you. Friends of Travis would say after the two started officially dating in February 2007 that they noticed a few not so cute things and would see a somewhat possessive Jodi. For instance, she didn't like when Travis would talk to other women. Can you say red flags? Red flags. There were even reports of her going full stalker mode too, like listening in on conversations, waiting outside the bathroom for him, going through emails, crazy bitch shit, like red flags. But it seemed like she had the pee he could not give up. Now, throughout their relationship, they exchanged a lot of texts and emails and photographs on numerous platforms and was even stated to being close to 82,000 emails. Like, that's way too much.com in the short amount of time that you were dating.
How many?
82,000 emails.
Were they using it like a text service?
I think so.
Hi, send.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? Send.
I don't know. That's just a lot in a short amount of time. His friends had even made the comment to Travis, I'm afraid we're going to find you chopped up in her freezer.
Ooh.
Like, if your friends are saying that, there's something going on. Like, you don't throw that shit around. Their whirlwind romance came to an end just 4 months later, on June 29th, 2007. They had broken up due to Jodi finding texts from other women, apparently, and she just didn't trust him anymore. Bullshit. I reckon he dumped her. They stupidly continued their physical relationship, however. Like, don't do that. You break up, you break up. It would later come out that it seemed like the breakup was over guilt for his religion, and I think he wanted a virgin Mormon wife to marry, so he knew he would never marry Jodi. Obviously no excuse for murder, but I think there was a bit more to the story where, you know, given the emails earlier, he felt a bit ashamed of what he was doing, I think.
You can't diddle someone.
Yeah.
And then be like, I want a virgin wife. Mind you, she was not a virgin before she got into that relationship anyway.
Like, he knew what he was going into. I'm not victim blaming, obviously, but I think she was already psychotic, so I think something like that would have just fucking tipped her over the edge.
But why did nothing happen with the dude that had the kid?
None of the crazy. There are a few stories of him talking about her and stuff, but to be honest, I didn't go, like, because this case, there's just so much shit going on. So, I mean, he could have been a bit crazy. She, to him, obviously. By December 2007, Travis started dating another woman. It was so weird, but all of a sudden, his new girlfriend started receiving harassing emails and messages from a John Doe. So weird. Like, I have no idea who that could be. Also, apparently, Jodi got so jealous, she decided to slash his tires as well. Like, I'm sorry, but you don't put your dick in crazy.
You don't.
Never put your dick in crazy. Or grind your dick on crazy.
Don't grind on crazy.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it.
Unfortunately, him and Jodi still remained in contact. Like, this bitch would break into his house through the garage. She knew his PIN, and even mention of her breaking in through the doggy door. He'd wake up to her on the couch or in his bed. Like, no, crazy. By January 2008, they were still sending some texts to each other, and you can find it all online, their conversations, pretty much everything has been laid out. But yeah, I just had to add this in, and I spoke to you about it the other day. But she texted him saying, I want to mouth hug you. Like another word for BJ. Oh, please let me mouth hug you.
Let me hug you with my mouth.
That's so gross. March 2008, they travelled a bit together still interstate. She even moved closer to him, like literally to his area, even though they had broken up. Like, now you move, you were already commuting while dating, and now you've moved to his area. Crazy bitch. She would eventually end up moving away from him again, which apparently Travis made the mention to his friends, like, I feel like I can breathe again. Shit's going good. Jodi moved to her grandparents' house, and by May 2008, it's really weird, but like, they had a gun stolen from their house. Like, it was reported stolen from her grandparents' house. Like, I don't know who would have stolen it. It was a .25 caliber gun as well.
It's a mystery.
Who could it be? June 4th, Jodi was on her way to another conference to meet a new lover. Now, it's really weird, but Travis was meant to go to a conference with the lady friend as well. well. He was originally meant to go with Jodi, but a month or so before he changed his plans and organised for a lady friend to go with him. This was meant to be on the 10th of June. So his lady friend hadn't heard from him, and it was like the night before she decided to reach out to Travis's friends to see if they'd heard from him. They hadn't, unfortunately. So June 9th, they went to check on him. Travis had a roommate who said, no, Travis isn't here. He's in Cancun. He's gone for his trip. No, he was not. So they were able to gain access to his room by like a spare key or something like that, and unfortunately found pools of blood in the hallway leading to the master bedroom. They went into his bathroom and found Travis slumped over in the shower, clearly dead. He'd been shot in the head with a .25 caliber gun, had been stabbed 27 to 29 times, and also had his throat slit to the point of nearly being decapitated. He had defensive wounds on his arms. Now, due to how long his body had been there for, authorities were not sure if he was shot before or after he had died, but they kind of assumed it was after. And it was so fucked up, and without even a doubt in their mind, Travis's friends knew who had done it. Jodi. It's Jodi. Also, I just want to pop in, and not to blame anyone, but your roommate is dead for a few days and you didn't even know. Like, I couldn't get my head around that. I was like, how was the living arrangement? Were you out when that happened? Like, it was noted that like his keys and everything were still on the table, his car was there. That just creeps me out knowing that you've been in the same house.
As a dead person for days.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do a quick dive into what happened, as if you want a more in-depth trial detail, go have a little look, because it was an absolute shit show and just shows what a narcissistic crazy asshole this bitch was. Like, when she was arrested for murder, she asked officers if she could do a quick touch-up before getting her mugshot taken. Like, fuck off. Ain't no makeup gonna fix that crazy-ass face. So June 4th, Travis missed an important conference call that was in the afternoon. June 5th, Jodi arrived to her destination and, of course, tried calling Travis numerous times and left a voicemail. Like, you're trying to get that alibi, bitch. Fuck off. She also showed up to her new beau with brown hair. She used to be a blonde. And I'm sorry, but when you are blonde and go brown, that's a big life change, and some serious decision making goes into that. I don't care what you have to say. Now, it's weird, but when police were at the crime scene, they found a camera in the washing machine. A brand new digital camera that Travis had purchased. Like, are you that dumb? You dumb bitch. Dumb bitch. Police obviously were able to recover the photos, and it's so weird, but they found photos of Jodi on there, and it was dated June 4th.
Gasp.
Right? So crazy. They had done a little nude photo shoot, with some of the last photos being of Travis in the shower at 5:29 p.m. And I must say, it's the most fucking horrific thing looking at that, knowing what's about to happen. Yeah. There were even photos taken moments later of Travis bleeding out on the floor of the shower. A bloody palm print was also found in the bathroom hallway, and crazily enough, the DNA was of Jodi and Travis. Like, I'm so shocked.
Impossible.
It just does not make sense. Also, just a quick heads up, be careful what you type into Google on this case, because there are a lot of photos, like a lot of crime scene photos, including his body and close-ups and his face, and just be very careful. Please. Unless you're into that shit. If you're not, FYI, please don't look.
Don't look anyway.
Do it. So the bitch was arrested and surprisingly didn't confess straight away. The trial was a bit of a circus, like I said earlier, even to the point of people paying up to $200 per seat to be in the room. And the bitch tried to make out that he was abusive and all this shit. Like, fuck right off. That's so disrespectful. Yes, he may have been somewhat leading her on with the whole religion thing and her no longer being pure and them continually getting it on. But bitch, you went full psycho, hacking his socials, slashing his tires like you are crazy. And not to mention fucking murder.
Well.
She even went as far to make it out like intruders broke in and killed him and attacked her because she had cut marks on her too. Like, fuck off. 2 years later, after being arrested, she finally admitted to killing Travis, but due to self-defense over domestic violence. Like, what a cop-out, I'm sorry, but no. This bitch tried to drag his name through the mud. She said they had anal, vaginal intercourse. A phone sex tape was played that had been recorded without Travis's knowledge. I think she was hoping to use it against him, like a bit of, embarrass him in front of his Mormon peers when he no longer wanted her.
Or blackmail.
Blackmail, yeah. If you didn't think it would get any worse, she also tried to make it out like he was a pedophile as well. No evidence was found on this, however. Like, you were literally showing what a piece of shit you are. Her, not him, obviously. Like, this poor guy lost his life, and here you are happily talking about your sexcapades, then saying he was abusive and into child porn. Like, fuck off. If you want to go see the trial and see how crazy she is, it's fucking everywhere, and you can go into a deep dive. So on 7th of May 2013, she was found guilty of first-degree murder. There are a lot of extra trials that went on and retrials and all this bullshit. Like, she even has a following and a website saying she is innocent and has been selling her art on eBay. Like, fuck off.
No, thank you.
In April 2015, Jodie was sentenced to life in prison without parole, and it came out that her trial cost an estimated $3 million. Like, that's how much of a circus it was. It's just, yeah.
Fuck me. 3 mil.
Yeah. And that, my friends, was the crazy-ass story of Jodie. Don't put your dick in crazy. Just don't. And once you see a photo, I'm sure you will also want to just...
Yeah, to be fair, of her
Slap her
face. A photo of her face.
Yeah. You can see the crazy. Well, thank you, Mung Beans, for listening to
Thanks
that.
for listening.
And once again, be careful on what you Google on this case.
It's true.
Be careful.
Like, Google it, but don't Google image it,
Yeah.
and then read up on the full transcript, because there's a lot in there.
Yeah, there is a lot. Also, be careful what you put into the front page of Google, because they were, you know, sometimes the pictures come up as well.
Yeah, true.
I did see some close-up things that you didn't want to see.
Nope.
So just be careful. Looking out for your mung
careful.
beans.
Yeah. And also don't forget to follow us on Instagram, please.
Do it. Send us some messages. Email us.
That's right.
All right.
Thanks, Mung Beach.
Love you. Bye.
Love you, boy.